I want to thank all of you for attending. I understand that for people who aren't in the media, 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon can be kind of a difficult time to get here, so I just want to appreciate those that came out. For those that were not able to make it but are joining us online, I want to thank you for attending as well. I've always advocated that politics should remain focused on the issues rather than the individuals. However, it has become unavoidable to ignore the character of someone who seeks the highest office in the state. The governor of Georgia is more than just a title. It's more than just power. It's more than a job. The people of Georgia must have full confidence that the governor is looking out for the safety and best interest of our citizens, not his or her own personal political gain. If there's anyone in our state that should be able to have faith and confidence in their governor, it is the law enforcement that protect us each and every day. On July 5th, at about 2:30 in the morning, Genesis and Familia received a knock on her door. On the other side of that door were police officers who informed her that her mother had been shot in the line of duty. Those police officers took Genesis to the hospital, where she found her mom unconscious and on life support. Shortly after arriving, she stood by, watching helplessly as her mother died. New York police officer Minnesota's Familia was assassinated in cold blood while she sat in her police vehicle serving the people of her state. Minnesota's was a mother of 3 who was now left motherless. Sadly, these types of instances have been increasing across the country. Our law enforcement officers put everything on the line for us. And in the case of Minnesota's, she gave her life serving the people of her state. Everyone that puts on the uniform are acutely aware of the risk they take, yet they take it anyway. There's nobody that deserves our full support and attention more than law enforcement officers. If there's any issue that should be above political games and false rhetoric, it's our law enforcement. Their livelihood should not be a campaign issue used to get votes for the political gain of career politicians. To offer false hope or to deny adequate support and care for these families based on political expedience and personal gain is beyond reprehensible. The Familia family, they're wifeless. They're motherless, they're daughterless. Unfortunately, Casey Cagle is attempting to use and exploit law enforcement officers here in Georgia for his own political gain, with no real intention of providing them the much needed financial relief they seek. We have police officers in our state that are serving and working 3 jobs and can barely make ends meet. Even more shameful, we have law enforcement officers who rely on food stamps to feed their families. Yet, you can be sure when special interests and lobbyists that fund political campaigns of career politicians need an extra $100 million to build a stadium, politicians will come running. No mountain can get in the way of doing the bidding of big corporate, they call it. Rules, they can be changed or even suspended if the donor is willing to make enough donations. Deadlines, those can be extended if you happen to be a wealthy donor. The same cannot be said for the Familia family. Our law enforcement is left with nowhere to turn. The lieutenant governor, who now wants to be their governor, is too busy using them as political prop rather than seeking to provide for their needs. This past legislative session, Casey Cagle knowingly turned his back on Georgia's law enforcement officers. They were clearly not a large enough contributor to his political campaign. When legislation was introduced by myself and others to provide an across-the-board pay raise for all Georgia law enforcement officers who were earning less than a livable wage, Casey was not only denied him support, actively made sure to kill the legislation. Now Casey wants to be governor and needs the votes of people across the state of Georgia, including law enforcement officers that he turned a blind eye to less than 3 months ago. After 12 years in the Senate and another 12 years as Lieutenant Governor, Casey was unable to provide our officers the help they so desperately needed, to the point of killing the legislation that would provide relief. Yet last week, Campaign Casey decided he needed the votes of our law enforcement, so Casey did what Casey does best: played political games. I want to make it clear to everyone in the state of Georgia the despicable, reprehensible political games that Casey Cagle is willing to play as he seeks more and more power. But to what game? Does the big corporate donor need an updated ball field? Does anyone here believe that after 24 years as a politician, that this is the moment that Casey begins working for the average Joe? We all know the answer. Politics is tough business. Nobody knows this better than me. Having challenged the establishment, I ran for Senate, but to use an already suffering law enforcement officers for political gain reaches a new low that I hope to never witness again. There's a reason that Casey Cagle's team wanted me out of this race, to the point they offered me a Senate chairmanship for my support. I am here today to make it known the days of political games for the livelihoods of our citizens is over. It's past time that someone down here stood up and called BS when politicians like Casey Cagle play games with the lives of our citizens. I will expose and publicly call out Casey and any other politician who uses the people of Georgia like chess pieces on their way to more and more power. This will not continue in the state of Georgia if it takes every single dime in my name to defeat fake conservatives and reprehensible career politicians like Casey Cagle. I will. Casey, I know you're watching this. I was told this press conference was of great interest to you, mainly because you were unsure of which of the many underhanded political games and reprehensible acts I was going to expose today. You and I both know this list is long, and I've just gotten started. Do the people of Georgia a favor. Drop out of this race. Focus on your family and try your hand at a private sector job. Yes, being a politician is not a real world job. After 24 years of playing games with the people of Georgia and living on the backs of our citizens, it's time you step aside. Georgia needs a governor who is sick and tired of politics as usual. We are done with career politicians who are consumed with their lust of power and greed. It's a new day in Georgia and a new day in America. This can be a time of great progress and economic growth for all of Georgia, not just the powerful and connected. It is time to destroy crony capitalism and root out the elite and corrupt players who orchestrate it. Casey, hear me loud and clear. Every single time you attempt to deceive and take advantage of everyday Georgians on your road to more power, I will be here as a roadblock that power and fame you seek. I know that in less time it takes me to tie my shoes, Casey and his gang of political leaders will begin to further assault me and my family. It won't be the first time or the last. We're ready. You cannot break us. No matter how much legislation you kill or political threats, we will be here. Your days are numbered. Thank you.
Are you advocating a pay raise for law enforcement like sheriff, city? Are you? I mean, I heard. Are you advocating? I got a follow up. Are you advocating that?
I actually introduced 2 bills this past legislative session that did just that.
Okay, what would you do? Would you subsidize counties, cities? How would you do that? Being it runs through their budgets, how would you propose to do that?
One of the bills that I introduced was actually with the tax credit paid for by the state. If a law enforcement officer did not meet a certain threshold, the state would then give them a tax refund. So it's a refundable tax credit from the state.
Exactly. The press release said that actions required hearing evidence about the confusion with Casey, who took up this time, slightly hearing and offered you one position to the other.
There are two questions. One about the offer. We'll address that one later. What's the other one?
We're not addressing that now. The other one was slightly the hearing.
Stifling.
The hearing on the.
Oh, this? Oh. Well, again, there's two bills. Go look at it. It's SB 288 and SB 254. I mean, I walked these halls asking fellow senators to sign on to these two pieces of legislation that support our law enforcement officers. I got two others.
But how can you see certain? You took your papers behind the other.
The comments they gave to me.
Documents,
Not prepared to sit that today.
Senator Williams, would you tell us who offered you the chairmanship in order to stay out of the race?
Not to this, kind of the same answer that Bruce asked. No, not today.
If you don't answer that question, then how can we verify that it's true?
In time.
I mean, what's the difference between now or a week or a month?
I understand.
Did you not say it was his team?
But is there a reason why?
We have a very long race ahead of us.
But I mean, you've made the allegation now.
Correct.
You're making the allegation now. Why not complete the thought by saying who actually made the offer to you?
We will add another time.
Just let me ask, did you not say it was Casey Cagle's team? I'm not quoting you, but didn't you say his team? Okay, so, and you're not prepared to give us who that was?
No. Thank you, guys.